Madam Speaker. And I rise to speak about the Tiwi Cultural Festival and Tiwi AFL Grand Final. On Sunday the 20th of July, after a very early morning taking part in the Sunbelt Top End Grand Fondo, I then travelled to Warramyanga on Bathurst Island with some of my colleagues, Minister Edgington and Minister Charles, to attend the 2025 Tiwi Island AFL Grand Final, and it was a fantastic afternoon. We were very proud as a government to support the 2025 Tiwi Grand Final and the second iteration of the Tiwi Cultural Festival through a combined $105,000 in grant funding, thanks to a range of government agencies. These grants demonstrate our commitment to ensuring equitable support to sport and cultural events right across the Territory. I was warmly greeted on arrival at Warramyanga by traditional owners Jennifer Clancy, Richard Tungatullen and Leslie Tungatullen, who's the chair of the Tiwi Land Council, and by many children and elders who performed a very traditional welcome with a smoking ceremony, singing and dancing, and it was a true honour, Madam Speaker. We also had a warm welcome from parish priest Father Nyran Vegas and assistant priest Father Kwok Hung Nguyen, who kindly assisted us with transport that day. Firstly, we visited Patakikayari. That's a terrible pronunciation, I apologise. Museum, where we were met by Sister Anne Gardner and museum manager and guide Fiona Kuranua. Along with Minister Edgington and Minister Charles, we were given a very big tour of the museum by Sister Anne and Fiona. Fiona is a very accomplished artist and screen printer, with some of her art having been proudly displayed in the Powerhouse Museum. In 2017, Sister Anne was named the Senior Australian of the Year. The museum and the historic church are her passion, and she has dedicated over 70 years of her life to that community, and what an achievement and legacy. Sister Anne has been working on the Tiwi since she was 22 and she's now 94, Madam Speaker.
Wow.
On my visit to the museum, I was generously gifted a book authored by Heidi Smith titled Portrait of a People, the Tiwi of Northern Australia, and something I've taken back to my office here at Parliament House and treasure. We then visited the historic St Therese Church, which was built in 1941, and next to the church stands a bronze statue of Matthias Ulungura, the first Aboriginal man to capture a prisoner of war on Australian soil during the bombing of Darwin in World War II. We received a very warm spiritual welcome from Sister Amelia Fatima, Stacey Parker, Melissa, Anthea, Molly Monkara, Mari Carmel, Nina Black and Father Niran and Father Kwok, who told us about the enormous efforts they're undertaking to fundraise to restore that beautiful church. And we told us stories of how during the cyclone they hid underneath the church. After this, we went and visited Tiwi Design, where we were welcomed by the manager, Michelle Canning, and Alan Kuranua, one of the main screen printers and artists who've been painting for over 41 years, actually did some painting and showed us his work, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Then we made our way, of course, to Stanley Tipalura Oval, where we were greeted by Mary Dunn, and I had the pleasure of presenting the winning trophy to the women's side for the Mullawuri Magpies and their dominant win over Wallama Bulldogs in the female grand final. I was entrusted to do the coin toss, and I made sure I got some tips on how to do the coin toss first for the men's grand final between the Mullawuri Magpies and the Imalu Tigers, and it was a great game, and the Tigers brought it home with a 16-point win. At halftime, I then presented the Tungatullen family with a plaque on behalf of the Northern Territory Government to acknowledge their father and brother and relative, Hyacinth Gabriel Tungatullen, who was the first Indigenous Australian to be elected to the Northern Territory Parliament in 1974. It's a tangible and lasting symbol of appreciation and recognition of service to his community and to the Northern Territory. On the Saturday, on the 19th, it was the second ever Tiwi Cultural Festival, and that was a real highlight. Everyone told us how incredible it was, and I was unfortunately at the Catherine show that day, but it sounded like everyone had an absolute wonderful time. I just wanted to congratulate Mary Dunn. She did an incredible job keeping the show on the road. Everyone who was there organising it, all of the teams, all of the players, the whole community who came out to just had a wonderful, wonderful celebration of a sport. It was really high energy afternoon, and I truly congratulate them, and we're looking forward to getting back out there soon. Thank you, Madam Speaker.